Someone remind me later today to change my profile picture on YouTube. Can at least one of you guys join the stream and make sure it's working perfectly? Oof, stonky. Was it silver or something? Silver moves crazy. All right, sweet. Sweet. Good morning, everyone. All right. Oh, now it's like loading. It was like for some reason the analytics of the stream are showing 0 viewers. I'm like, I doubt no one joined. Maybe one person joined, but no one. A little suspicious. Anyways, keep in mind this is the last stream until, or no, sorry, tomorrow is the last stream until February, first week of February. Now I'll still be continuing to do live trading. It just will not be for free on YouTube. This is a 1 week per month deal. Is this perfect double top on ES? It is, I think. It is. If we go anywhere near here, that's very good PT. Otherwise, we don't have too much. All right, pre-market analysis, I'm leaning pretty neutral, maybe slightly bullish, only because that ES perfect double top. But overall, I'm fairly neutral. NQ's in heavy supply, ES is not. I don't know if we actually missed that demand or hit it perfectly. All right, sent out my pre-market analysis, just pretty, very mildly bullish. I'm not very biased at all this morning. I'm okay playing both sides completely. Let's get my Thinkorswim set up, and I don't think today will be as lucky as yesterday was, but you know, as long as we're disciplined, that's what I care about. We still have 7 minutes till market open, so if any of you guys have in YouTube have questions, now's your time. Bullish for 15 minutes and drop. No, not even that. It's like That's not even something that's possible to predict. A cloud. That's not like a. There's no point in predicting things that's specific. Do we chop till Friday news? Guys, you guys can't ask like it, probably not, but you guys can't pretend like I have a crystal ball then ask those kinds of questions. I have no idea. Don't have an idea in the slightest. Trading isn't about knowing what's going to happen. It's impossible to know what's going to happen. Anyone that tells you anything else is lying. Trading is gambling. Accept that. Except we're not gambling as the customer, we're gambling as the casino, right? Casino has no idea whether I'm going to win or lose this hand of blackjack, but they don't care because of the large series of events they'll win. It's what trading is, right? Except most people gamble as the customer, not the casino. So I have no idea what's going to happen, not going to pretend to know. Just going to execute every single trade my strategy gives me, and hopefully I'm green. Opinion on strangles. I don't really. I've never traded spreads because you need a margin account to do that, and I've always been on cash accounts my entire life. Even after I first got over 25K back in 2021, I never switched off a cash account. But if you're buying in both directions, buying puts and buying calls, which would be more of a straddle, no, I would not do that. Maybe you can do it right before FOMC or something, but not this. Let's go overseas. Me took my first silver trade. Yeah, silver. I mean, one mini on ES and one mini on ES, and damn near every tick is $100. Pretty much every tick is $100 on one mini. It's crazy. Good morning, Garika. First time hearing Bryce's voice. Oh, you haven't taken my master classes then. Man. So a few minutes till market open. So if you guys have more questions, feel free to ask. I may bully you very lightly if you ask a terrible question, but all questions are welcome. What are we in? We're in a lot of things right now, Carmen. We are freaking in, dude. We are in. So yes, the question to that's yes. We are in. You're about to make. Oh God. Okay. Couple of lookouts for today. Not really. I just got to see how the market opens. You guys know I trade the same thing every single day, so. What's our green streak though? Have we been green for like 6 days in a row on options? However long it's been. Kind of due for red day. Not gonna lie. Knock on wood, but we're kind of due for red day. Right. Sorry for stupid repetitive. I didn't see you ask a question. Oh, can I get info on your futures? Okay, so I have a futures trading masterclass. I don't have I'm not a course seller. Like I don't do courses, right? In my community, we do have a course, which is the path to success, but it's a very interactive thing, and it's included with the membership, so it's not like a paid course. But exactly what are you looking for, David? Because I have a 7-hour futures masterclass in two parts. Um, or are you looking for information on my futures strategy? If you're looking for information on my futures strategy, that's actually also on my YouTube. Um, so how do I get into your well, I can't advertise that, but someone in chat may be able to help you. It's the 90% off Apex sale. Well, I tried spamming it. In attack. I don't know, maybe we'll have something quick for Valentine's Day, but I don't know. The mastery. Yeah, so if you're interested in the master classes, click the auroratrading.ai link. The top right of your screen, log into the site and look at available recordings. You'll see the futures one. Add it to your library, and then you can watch that. But it is 7 hours. It's the biggest one I've ever done. I probably will not do it again anytime soon. I did that one time last year, like early last year, I think. No, it was before that. It's in 2023. I do need to redo it though, because the quality isn't as good. Oh, yes, is looking stronger than NQ right off the bat. Market's about to open. Get ready to go all in. I'm just kidding. That's pretty bullish. I'm bullish for NQ to get to pre-market high, but it's too early in the opening candle. I can't feel anything. But if we were to close like up here and invalidate this selling, like I'm technically triggered into a trade. The stop loss will be super tight though. I'm still kind of feeling more aggressive. I don't really want to trade super conservative. You know, except yesterday. Yesterday was 100% win rate, but the 4 days before that, I was winning. I was losing the first two, then winning the third, but the third was freaking huge for 3 days in a row. Um, and never mind, NQ flipped super weak. That is freaking bearish on NQ. Oh my gosh. I took a gamble on the 68 puts. I couldn't 618 puts. I couldn't get the alert out fast enough. It moved way too fast. Move absolutely way. Yep, there it is. PT already hit. And well, it hit for a second, and I barely sold any because it was only there for half a second. Okay, I did just feel a little bit more, but it's still like super sporadic. It's a very fast trade. Not much money though. I mean, pretty garbage gains to be honest. I'm liking SPX calls. And NQ doesn't look as good. I don't know. NQ could drop, but I'm bullish on ES for pre-market high. It is very strong right now. I just need this selling link to invalidate. I still have a little bit of QQQ puts left, but if we make a lower low, I'm out. Okay, there you go. It's just a pain in the ass to alert that fast. I can't do it. I did fill the SPX calls for the pre-market high. Think I got a decent fill, but I'm not sure. Fill at 2.8. Technically able to average down on this trade. I don't know if I really want to though. We'll see. That is a horrendous selling wick. I would not touch calls unless that selling wick invalidates. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up taking my ad. I was gonna leave this trade smaller size, but it is so much freaking stronger than NQ. Well, now NQ's dumping. Now that I'm out of the trade, go figure. I barely made anything on QQQ. I literally only made 12% because it didn't do it. But now it's up a ton. Now it's up like 50%. I'm just keeping the loss smaller on SPX. I'm not going to add, even though it's half size than I could have. I'm not going to add. My sentiment's now bearish for NQ to make it to demand. There's not really any point in adding. It's a lot more money to be made on QQQ though. I'll have to re-enter calls if we come back up. Otherwise I'm gonna have to stay out of it. Leaning bearish for NQ demand and ES 6943.5. Unless we come back up. If we come back up, I am back in calls and I'll be much heavier size. I'm still liking those Q puts. I actually think they're still weak. I'm back in them. I'm half sizing them, planning to average down, hoping to average down. And you know, it's kind of a tough decision because now on this candle, ES looks like there is a chance it may invalidate this entire drop and shoot up. So let's see who wins here. I'm able to average down on the Q puts. I don't know if I will. If it just explodes up, I'll just cut it because now I'll be bullish for the pre-market high. But I'm thinking both are going to happen. I don't know which order. Either NQ gets to demand first and then we rebound and ES gets this pre-market high, or opposite. ES gets this pre-market high and then NQ comes down to demand. NQ super weak, but ES is dragging it up. It looks like ES is gonna win the battle, which means my average down would be that pre-market high. It would be extremely lucky if NQ got demand here. I don't think it's gonna be able to get demand without ES getting this pre-market high. Looks like price action slowed down a little bit, so now I don't need to rush my fingers to try to type as fast as humanly possible. No, I might have got bailed out. This is good to start trimming. But this is also a pivot here. So pivot also lines up with demand. And if you look closely, we actually missed this demand zone here. So I would love for this demand to hit, but good trim place regardless. That buying wick that last candle put in was bullish. See if it plays out. Still bullish for ES pre-market high too. So I did get some decent little trims off. Those puts actually did pretty well. They got to 85 cents. I was able to get around 82 and 83 though. Yep, there's a buying wick playing out. It looks like ES is actually starting to catch up to NQ weakness-wise. NQ starting to flip strong as it approaches this pivot. Definitely thinking if we get to demand, we'll bounce out of it unless ES does not sweep this and just like barrels through this low. Then I'll be leaning bearish for ES to get all the way down here. It all just depends with how ES interacts with this low of day. See, that's bullish right there. See how it just made that lower low with the buying wick? That's bullish. There's my PT on NQ though. Beautiful. Back to green on the day. Love to see it. I only have a tiny runner position left. Otherwise, I'm pretty much out of this trade. It looks like I would have ended up taking a loss on those SPX calls anyways, so that's fine. The only downside is my freaking Q puts kicking me out before the big drop. My initial ones. Could have got way more than 12% on that. Got 43% on that trade. And that is a perfect exit. And I did close my tiny runner position on this bounce. Thing is, though, on ES, if it does come back up, looks like it's going to, I'm not going to really be able to enter this full size because the PT is way too close. I'll have a terrible risk reward, so I am going to need to save buying power to average down. But that's kind of what it's looking like. We might actually head back down. That's a pretty bearish candle NQ just put in. ES, not so much. ES doesn't want to go down. NQ does, though. What are you watching? ES and NQ, as always. I am always watching ES and NQ. And my options, I trade SPX and QQQ. But I always do my TA on ES and NQ, which are just the S&P and Nasdaq futures form of the ticker. Looks like NQ is getting lower. You see what I'm talking about, though, with ES's strength. ES looks pretty good. If ES can get to roughly here, I do like SPX calls a lot to the pre-market high. I don't know how far NQ wants to drop. This seems pretty vertical to me. And never mind, there's a freaking huge drop. Good grief. Oh, congrats if you're still in puts. I don't think anyone was in calls or longs yet, right? Hopefully not, because that was completely against our bias unless ES got back up to here. But there's that pivot on ES, and now we're bouncing off of it. As far as other pivots, I have this one here. I have this one. Is this a perfect double bottom? No, it's not, but that is a very nice level. I am leaning pretty bearish to that level. And we have one more pivot here. With that fall, I'm still, yeah, I'm kind of leaning bearish. It's QQQ is still not a bad put trade. Want it to bounce a little bit. Yeah, I filled QQQ puts again, light size. I really like 25,590. Really like it. Now, obviously, I don't like buying low of day in demand, and ES is on a pivot, but NQ's a hell of a lot weaker than ES. And this is a really nice pivot right here. So I think there's a good chance it gets there, but I'm light size. So if we bounce, I plan on using that to scale in. If it just goes right to PT, that'll kind of suck because I won't make as much money, but it's fine. It's doing well already. And when I don't have time to when it's a quick decision, obviously I don't have the alert type, so I just type in my channel in QQQ. Looks pretty good. There's the first pivot though. Give me the second one. This one right here. This is what I need. Yes, looks like it wants to bounce. That is a lower low with a major buying wick. And NQ looks like it's trying to put in a bullish liquidity sweep on this pivot here, and it is kind of a major pivot. I really like this one. I think this might actually, hang on. What's the value of this? 90.5. Yeah, no, this is actually like a perfect triple bottom on NQ. Looks like we did get our bounce, so I will be scaling in. That's why I went super light size, but that is a really bullish liquidity sweep. So I might not scale in much. That's why you go light size, very light size. I might just have to close this and get triggered into SPX calls because we're coming all the way back up on ES. That just turned around on a freaking dime. But it'll happen today when this drop in. Yeah, I'm out. Light size. I did fill my SPX calls as well. I can't average down on that. That is extremely bullish. It was a great entry. It got close. I mean, I was up 20 something percent on that. But at some point today, we will more than likely invalidate this bounce, and I will be really heavy in puts or shorts if I'm trading futures at the time when that comes back down. Because this level, this 25,590.5 level, that does need to break on NQ at some point. Looks like a decent fill on ES. Let's see if it can actually continue to my PT though, or it's gonna scam me for a third time on that. Don't really feel like adding on this trade. Just probably leave it be. That's a bearish candle though. That's a bearish piercing line that ES is trying to put in. NQ is putting in a bearish engulfing. So I might be getting hornswoggled here. Oh, I love that strength on ES. That is really, really bullish. That is beautiful. So many shorts got in on that previous candle, but the fact that they just invalidated like that and ES is super strong, that is freaking beautiful. This is a lot going on this morning. I'm like barely keeping up with my keyboard. Never mind. Bear stepped in again. That's back to being bearish. Need that selling wick to invalidate. That selling wick invalidates. It should get to PT, no problem. That's a bearish candle open though. I don't know if it wants to do that. I may have to get back into Q puts. I'm like stuck between two hypotheses. God, dude, I'm gonna have to fill QQQ puts. I'm gonna have to be in like both of these trades to be honest. This is a very strong bias with this pivot breaking, so I kind of need to be in puts whenever it's close. But same thing with that pre-market high on ES. I did fill those QQQ puts. Yeah, I feel like I mean I can easily have to get right back into SPX calls though. Um, I think I might keep both trades open. Just size down on SPX. Let me see if this buying week invalidates. I have to be in QQQ puts. I'm hoping this buying wick holds on NQ. That would be incredible, but I don't think it's going to. Oh my gosh, I might get bailed out. Need this candle to close bullish without a selling wick. If it does, ES looks really good to PT because ES is still stronger. And I told you guys if we invalidate this selling wick, you know, it'll look really good. And I even barely missed my theoretical hard stop loss as well. I think I just got bailed out. If ES can get to this PT and bearishly sweep it, the doors of heaven will open up, and I'll have two fantastic hypotheses to execute in a row. Because I do need NQ to get to this at some point. Quick Flip says you're aiming for high of day on SPX. I'm not trading. I'm on ES, and it's not high of day. It's pre-market high. It's on my chart, guys. This tool, like you can see my trade. This is where I entered. This is the price target. This is the stop loss, and vice versa for a bullish trade. Like you can see it on my chart. What I'm going for. That's why I use that tool. Oh, that's from before. Okay. Oh, but NQ still looks bearish. This is turning into a bear pennant. I'm gonna have to be in both trades at once. I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I won't. Have to ES looks like it's trying. I need ES to drag NQ up because I kind of have to enter Q puts when it gets to like here. This is pretty much where I have to enter. If ES can keep it away from that point until it sweeps my pivot, that would be perfect. This candle closed bullish. This is a good average up on the trade. I mean, it already cleared 30% gains. These calls are moving insanely. The calls, I entered at 3.5 here. They just hit 4.1. Oof, that's a bearish selling wick, though. It looks like bears are really trying to prevent this hypothesis from playing out. But this is pretty much a perfect trend line. I'm bullish for perfect trend lines to break. Oh, no, it's never mind. It's not perfect. It's just a nice one. This wick is a little over. Not liking this chop on ES, though. It's chopping my contracts. And the contracts actually have really good value. So it's pretty unfortunate. This is a bear pin on NQ, a little bit further down, and I'm triggered in to puts. Thinking about scaling down my SPX call trade to prepare for this. Sell the winner, average up, average down on the loser. Yep, that's what I did. It's so close. I did fill QQQ puts. I can't not be in. So I'm in both SPX calls and Q puts. I did scale down on SPX a bit, hoping that it doesn't shoot up, because if it shot up, I'd have to average up. And I will sell the winner and average down on the loser is pretty much the way my sizings works right now. Look how much stronger ES is than NQ. And that looks like a pretty damn good fill. I got 63 cents on my fill, and it's at 78 now. But I need it to get to PT. I need one to get to PT, because I'm sized right now. I'll cut the winner at PT, then average down on the loser. Which is kind of ballsy to do, but this is the first time that I've been stuck between hypotheses like this. Luckily, the SPX contracts are holding a lot of value. They're not chopping at all for whatever reason. So that helps. That helps a lot. And I don't really see any news. Let me check trading economics real quick. Oh, I got wholesale inventories. That's about it. All right, let's see which one wins and loses. This morning's been a pain in the ass as far as executing trades are concerned. I'd like to think that ES is probably going to get to PT first, but I don't know. It's been flipping so quickly lately. But I'm so bullish for this PT and so bearish for this PT. This is the first time that this has happened in a while. So I really wish my first QQQ bus just hit the PT right here instead of barely missing it. My life would have been fantastic because I would have just filled calls on this reversal candle, and that would have been good. Didn't get that lucky though. Alex, what's going on with the psychology? Looks like NQ's gonna win. That's a pretty bearish candle on ES, and I'm concerned that ES actually flipping weaker than NQ. It must not have sound. New attack, you need to rejoin. Anytime someone says that in chat, just tell them to rejoin. Tim says, you really old lady used to trade Apple and yeah, I used to that. There we go. There it is. Okay. Now it's going to be time to shine. I average out on SPX calls, took profits on QQQ. I'm normal size in SPX now. I'm hoping it NQ bottoms. I'm not sure that it will. But one can hope, right? It's pretty much guaranteed that one was going to win at the start. I'm hoping. That's a bearish candle close on ES. But it has a lot of volume. And really, my stop loss is fairly subjective, but somewhere around here, we'll have to see. Looks like I'm only going to get one out of those two hypotheses to play out right now, unless I put in a reversal candle, which NQ could, but probably won't. Yeah, today's like a super 50-50 day. Still no reversal candles on NQ. We might just we might just keep going straight down, even though ES looks so freaking good. ES is so much stronger than NQ. It's kind of hard to believe that NQ is going to cut through all this demand, which could be terrible for psychology. So you need to be careful with that. Looks like ES is going to stop me out. It's unless we shoot up right now, it looks like mini bearish consolidation, which will get us to the pre-market low right here. NQ at least needs another low. I think this is a tiny pivot at the bottom of this demand. I really want to go up though. I think I have a very good average on these calls. I mean, my average on is at 2.2. It's as planned right when NQ hits this PT, and it's above 2.0, right? Like 2.2 right now. These calls have not been chopping at all. Knock on wood, but I'd really like to see this trade play out. I don't know if I'm going to be that lucky, though. It doesn't really seem like a good morning, to be honest. No. These calls are break even now. You can trim on SPX if you want to decrease your risk. Honestly, I'm just going to leave it. I don't really care. It's not that big of a deal for me. If I lose on this, I'm pretty much going to be break even today. You know, looking back on ES, look at ES's price action. I don't really make any money when price action is compressing. So not being red on today is good. But not only was ES like compressing sideways, but NQ dumped all day today, which makes ES super strong, which makes me bullish on ES but bearish on NQ. Not an easy day because they're doing completely different things. This is freaking, oh my gosh, the grand plan is going to play out. Knock on wood. Oh my gosh, it played out. Now I'm okay trimming. Oh my gosh, it freaking worked. We played it like a freaking violin. I told you guys, I'm so bullish and bearish for both of these things to happen. And that doesn't happen very often. Maybe once a month. Not even, once every other month lately. It used to happen a lot more often, but... Oh my gosh. So good. So freaking good. I'm pretty trimmed up. Final P2 would be awesome though, but I think that's high of day. That is high of day, yep. So I'm trimmed up. We'll see if this last bit can get to PT. But these calls shot back above 4.0. These calls didn't chop anything, which is freaking beautiful. This high right here was 4.1. This high was 4.2. Like, they didn't chop at all. What a beautiful way to take care of this super indecisive market. I'm so happy that worked. Type in chat if you guys made money on this. The puts and calls. I mean, if you're trading futures, then you got problems because you're not allowed to do that. I mean, ideally, perfect psychology, you got to choose one. So futures is different. But for those of you in the YouTube chat, puts and calls, cut the winner at PT, average down on the loser, freaking worked. And of course, the loser has to be heavier size than the winner because so this is a much bigger win than the QQQ trade because there's no way to even it out because it's not like I'm averaging up on the winner. There's PT on ES. And I actually think it's going to keep going. I think NQ is going to try to get to its bounce high, but watch for an inverse head and shoulders here. I mean, for those of you in Discord that know what this word even means, you cannot get more discretionary than that. That's like the maximum level of discretionary trading I can do is freaking both puts and calls. All right, today we'll finish green then. Good. That is awesome. Futures, we'll find out. But I'm leaning bullish for this NQ high, so I'm holding a decent bit on SPX. And it is up big. My average was 2.65. It was actually 2.6 flat, but I just rounded up to 2.65. These calls just hit 4.9. Yeah, look at that. And there's the NQ high. And I'm actually leaning bullish for, remember this, the perfect double top. So hang on. Calls freaking exploded. They hit 5.7 on a 2.6 average, so that's over 100%. It was hell at first, but the last 15 minutes were freaking beautiful. If I don't re-enter calls, I'll just keep holding my runner. But this is I mean, this is the PT here. It's a perfect double top. It's not the biggest deal in the world because it's still kind of close together. But it is a nice cluster of liquidity that the market will be attracted to. But I'm in a single runner contract, and if you're trading on a smaller account, you shouldn't be in runners that are $500 a piece. I trade futures during the second and third hour. I don't trade futures during the first hour. It's options only. I trade both for more money, of course. Same reason anyone would. And because my community mostly trades funded futures as they should, and I want to be in tune and in line with my community's interests. You don't have permissions to trade on SPX and trade SPY. It's the same thing. It's just less leverage. Guys, I'm trading the S&P and the Nasdaq. You can find a way to trade this stuff. I trade SPY, but contracts don't move. No, they do not. No, they do not. I'm a risky man. I like the risk. Okay. Yeah, I'm so happy that played. That is bullish. If we can get a candle to close here on ES and validating this entire pullback, it'll probably get to this next pivot. And if it gets here, it's probably just going to take out the supply. So really, that's my PT. I reached payout yesterday, first try on daily options Tradeify. Congratulations, Andy. That's awesome. Dave says, any advice, Bryce? I felt like breaking my 2 trade limit because NQ almost stopped out and ES looked very good. You have to spend more time back testing. Just more time back testing. Don't listen to the radio when you drive. Listen to the Mark Douglas series, and just more time back testing. And that's one thing I've been slacking on is back testing. So, Alex says, any advice video wise to watch for revenge trading? I'm so inconsistent. Um, Alex, go into your path to success. Actually, no. Just go into the Bryce's options. The psychology course channel. That one, and just pick a lesson. There's a bunch of them. One is the psychology required to accept loss, how to limit psychological deterioration while trading, uh, psychological reinforcement and its consequences trading, how to discipline yourself to break through the threshold of consistency. That's 4. We just did the study session yesterday on this, but why and how fear subconsciously ruins your trading. That's 5. Those are, pick 1 out of the 5 to start. 1 out of those 5 to start. Should hold call. No, I better sell my last call. ES flipped weak. ES flipped weak. Excuse me while I go back and screen. Yeah. Daniel, are you in the Discord server? Because even if you screen record the titles, you're not going to be able to have access to lessons. I just read them from the Psych Course channel. Or the Bryce's psych, of course, not the trading psych channel. And today was a freaking hard day, dude. Today was a very hard day. Like today, I had to move very fast. It was very stressful during the beginning because I was stuck between two biases all day. This freaking pre-market high and then NQ bearish, and I really sucks that this trade got sold. The 12% that ended up being like 50%. I mean, obviously it went even further above 100%, but that was pretty unfortunate. Today was not an easy day at all, so I would not feel bad if you're red. And I was almost like, if this trade didn't work out, I think I would have been small red instead of just break even because this trade was heavier in this one. I'm back out of work for the winter again, so I'm back. Okay, what's your Discord user, Daniel? Because I'm offering I just started doing this recently. Doing one-on-one calls with all new members to make sure that they oh yep, that looks good. I'm doing for completely free one-on-one calls with new members to make sure they know where stuff is, the path to success, they know what to do. Because we got to lock in this year. I need 50% of all you guys that are active to be profitable, minimum. So I'm putting a lot of effort towards that goal. Yeah, no, Benish, you just joined. Who's your was it Lone? That's your success. Who's your success manager? You just got picked up. No, it's Connor. It's Connor. Yeah, nice dude. Connor, not gonna. I mean, you are a little blessed because the worst trader in existence, which is Tommy, the worst trader that's ever lived, in my opinion, that I've ever met by far, it was Connor and Ryan that got him his first payout. So you're kind of lucky. To be honest, though, to be completely honest, Connor didn't tell him anything that no other success managers would have told him. But dark inky. Thanks, Bryce, for live stream. Okay, sweet. Yeah, hopefully with the live today, hopefully it was beneficial seeing me like freaking fighting for my life to make a decision because. I mean, obviously, yesterday was such an easy day. We just printed. I had one bias, entered it, we freaking printed, right? But sometimes you guys can't always see in my channel when I'm stuck making really hard decisions and typing super fast. You guys don't kind of see what's going on behind the scenes. But now you guys got a good taste of, what it's actually like to trade and how profitable trading works. You can tell that unlike other people that live stream, I never pretend to know what's going to happen. The language at which I talk, you'll never hear me saying this is going to happen, right? It's usually I am super bullish or super bearish for this to happen. But I never know anything. I never act like I know because if you do that, then you're going to lose all your money. But it says, I made money with you today with very. If you made money today, then today was a hard day. I mean, today was a hard day. The last two trades happened to work out flawlessly, but it was close to not working out. But today was not an easy day. But by the way, guys, DM me on Discord if you want that. Obviously, for you people that have been here, you don't need a call because you guys know where the path to success is and whatnot. But for you completely new people that I've never talked to, DM me on Discord or just ping me in chat or something, and we'll set up calls. If anything's happened. Right to the party. I'm still leaning bullish FX for this supply to break on ES, and the reason why is because this pivot here is actually a perfect double top on ES that formed overnight. It's not a super perfect double top. I said it's not freaking stuttering. It's not a super important perfect double top, but it's still a perfect double top, and this is still nice liquidity. So I'm personally leaning bullish for this supply to break. But this is kind of the first major resistance we saw in ES, so I'm not sure if it's going to be able to break it. At least right now. But at some point, yeah, I am bullish for it to break. We'll see how futures goes. I mean, I have 10 more minutes till I can trade futures. And what do we have, though, for bias? Well, I have bullish liquidity sweep. I have trend. And I have perfect double top going against supply. I'm actually triggered into... I mean, this is kind of chopping up. But otherwise, I'm kind of triggered into longs on futures. So, Bryce, I was able to put the cup down for a few days. But I picked up the cup again this morning. Can just never trust you, Ryan. Can just never trust you to keep it down, buddy. What's going on with that? Dan, yeah, he says today I couldn't find the clear way. Happy with losing only 400. Yeah, today was kind of difficult. It wouldn't have been difficult if ES was also kind of moving down, or I didn't have that bullish hypothesis as well. But both charts were so conflicting. This stop loss ended up getting swept on my QQQ puts, but I couldn't hold through that. Today will be a good. I didn't do my options review yesterday that I usually post because we had one single trade right at open. I'm not going to review that. That's too easy. It just went straight up. But today we'll have a nice review posted. And make sure the stream is live, guys. Sometimes it'll stop being live. Click the live button to update. It should only be like a 6-second delay. Drinking. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Ryan's drinking, to be honest. Went right back into PT. Yeah, well, how many of you guys are doing the study sessions with me and like the devotionals in the morning and the psych preps? Like I'm doing all that stuff. You guys should be attending that. Your chances of going on tilt will be a lot lower. Will be a lot lower if you're doing the study sessions and morning sessions with me. What time? Well, 1 hour before market open, I do a daily devotional, which is a Bible study. It's not really a Bible study. You read you read a few chapters of the Bible. We're in Revelations now. We've gone through pretty much the entire New Testament. And then you do a devotional. So that typically takes 30 minutes. And then we do psych prep. So we're currently reading, we finished Mark Douglas's Trading in the Zone. We finished Tom Hugard's Best Loser Wins. We're currently on Dr. Brett Steenbarger's The Daily Trading Coach, and we are doing 2 lessons from that every single day. We get done with that roughly 10 minutes before market opens, sometimes a little sooner. And then we trade. Then I review my trades later in the day. And then at nighttime at 8 p.m. my time, which is 10 p.m. Eastern, we do a psychology study session to prep for the next day. Ant-Man likes, Ant-Man likes the bigger tax write-off and the donation, I think. Is that every day? Yeah, every day except I don't do the study sessions on Fridays at nighttime because what are we prepping for, you know? But yeah, it's every day. ES looks like it's gonna get to my PT. Except NQ's now stronger. NQ now has liquidity momentum as well. I'm so happy that last hypothesis worked out. That was the make or break today, and it wasn't a bad gamble either. I thought it was pretty reasonable. I just thought obviously one of them was gonna hit, but then the second leg wasn't gonna hit, and but it did, so it's beautiful. Like everyone's psychology got shaken this morning. We're about to find out. Hopefully, my future psych doesn't suffer the same fate. Yeah, start my journal. Be right back, guys. Yeah, my mic was muted, unfortunately. So I don't know how long it was muted for, but everything I just said, I'm not going to repeat it. It's too much work. I'm in if we come all the way back up. I cannot go short with bullish liquidity sweeps and demand, but I will get in if one is stronger than the other. That's enough for me to get in when we come back up. About 10 minutes of silence. Awesome. It's unfortunate. I hang out on my phone. If we come back up, I'm back in. Pretty much what I said is I had to enter that trade, but it looked terrible right at entry because that's selling wick. And I said, do not enter unless that selling wick invalidates. So that trade, it was perfectly in line with my strategy. The problem is though with that selling wick, I had a reason to wait one more candle. So there is potential that that trade could have been missed. But I don't know. The last few days, futures has just been super unlucky. I have not been having a good time in the second and third hour of trading. ES is indeed stronger though, so it looks like I'm going to be entering longs. Oh yeah. Yep. I got to get in on this candle. I got to wait 10 seconds. The last 10 seconds. I'd love to not be hornswoggled. I did put my order. I did fill it. Let's see if I get hornswoggled. Ooh, that's not a good close if we keep this selling wick. I may just go hornswoggled again. I didn't put in a horrible selling wick. It's fine. NQ, that's a bad. I don't want that candle. Let's see how it closes though. Right now it's okay, but if it gets any bigger, then it's an issue. It's a 4-to-1 trade, I think. If I include the perfect top as a reason, it's a 4-to-1. I think I'll include it. Is ES actually that much stronger though? I don't know if it's that much stronger. I don't know. Put a question mark next to strong. Right, I'll be right back. MPT has to be here. There's a 1.38 risk reward. Those SPX calls shot right back up. It's a bearish supply rejection. If we put in a buying wick though, it'll actually look pretty good for a short squeeze. It's trying to. If we put in a buying wick and the next candle's green, probably won't be because the selling wick made a higher high. But if we put in a buying wick and the body to this red candle invalidates, that'll look great to squeeze. That's a nice buying wick, but that's a bearish candle open. Not super bearish though. Let's see if it invalidates. I actually really like this candle. It's not invalidating. Oh, never mind, it is. But even if it held steady there, it looks pretty good. NQ looks like it's flipping stronger. Or trying to at least. Yeah, I like that buying. I like the buying up here. That looks really good. Be a shame if this doesn't hit PT. I'm going to hang out on my phone till it hits PT or gets close to doing something. It's an ugly supply rejection. If that drop invalidates, it'll look beautiful again. But hopefully it wants to do that. And it may not do that. That's a pretty bearish start to this candle. Looks like I may just be hornswoggled this entire future session once again. Because that is super bearish. And you know what? I'm going to have to get right back into this trade if I stop out, because I'm still pretty bullish for it to break that level. Not looking like this is a very good futures trading week, though. Yesterday was terrible. Tuesday was small red. And then Monday was small green. And then Friday, at the start of this year, I couldn't even freaking trade because my broker wasn't working, and I missed out on a green day there either, too. It's looking a lot like December at the moment. Options been good, though, thank God. But I really do think if I stop out, it's probably going to sweep and come back up. Hopefully that's not the case, though. Give me something good to feel about. It's bearish consolidation on ES that just broke to the downside. I did just say it 20 seconds ago, but I did not unmute my mic. So I think I'm going to stop out and have to re-enter when it comes back up. In fact, I'm only just kind of thinking NQ is going to make a lower low, probably sweep it, then bounce. So ES might not even make a lower low. So I actually think there's a really good chance we perfectly tick my stop loss and then go back up. So I'm watching for NQ to bounce after sweeping this level here. Let's see how much under my stop loss it goes. I'm hoping they can both make lower lows, but I think the chances of it coming back up are much lower now because it does not like that supply. Okay, is NQ's lower low? Yeah, still needs it. Okay, well, at least the stop loss gets a check. You alert futures, not with a bot, not formally. I just forward test my futures trading strategy live. That's pretty much what I do. Last 30 days have been trash. November, October, and September were fantastic. Well, pretty much every month, but the last 30 days so far have been crappy. Yeah, not unlike my alert channel. I just do it verbally. Yeah, Ace's trend line's okay. It's just really steep. When it's very steep, it's kind of. It was almost perfect though. If that was a perfect trend line, I wouldn't have been able to get in that trade. All right, that's another bullish sweep on ES. If we come back up, I have to get back in my longs. So excited. I'm triggered in because this is liquidity momentum. Yep. All right, hopefully candle closes right here and doesn't go much further up. It looks like it's going to keep going up and give me a horrible average. I did place an order. The world's biggest candle, of course. I'm entering above the 78.6. Good grief. Well, that's my average. I literally have to go like 1.1. And even then, the inverse head and shoulders is an issue. And I wish my average was better. I'd make so much more money on this. Be very surprised if it doesn't hit. Like it's as good as it can possibly be, to be completely honest with you guys. There's one that should hit. It's like this. This gets like a 4.5 T out of 5, and my average is usually 3. So I'll be right back. ES is so freaking strong. Not gonna lie, it'd be awesome if I can like double my size for this trade. I'm not allowed though. Looks great to hit PT. I'd be actually genuinely very surprised if it didn't. I mean, I was kind of surprised with the last trade. It looked great at the beginning, but this one has even higher odds than the last one. I still wish I could have had a better average, though. I would have loved to enter like here. But we all can't get what we want, can we? I hang out on my phone until it's PT or stop loss. I mean, that's what I have to enter, Oliver, but you can do whatever you want. I just have to execute my strategy, and unfortunately, it looks like ES is trying to flip weak. Maybe I'll be surprised, because this was a very likely trade, and now it's not so much because of the uh, possible, inverse head and shoulders here. Some good price action here. Love to see it. Looks like it's gonna freaking sweep my stop loss again, and probably gonna come back up afterwards. Unfortunately. If I didn't trade options in the morning, I'd have some issues for sure. Pretty bearish. I'm just hoping we can maybe make a lower low before coming back up. That's my hope. But we have like the world's strongest supply here for some reason. This 2 hour supply is a force to be reckoned with. It's probably a smart decision, man. I mean, this whole thing on NQ does look like a bearish formation. Problem is these lower highs and lower lows here, especially if we make another lower low. I'm never gonna be able to enter. I'm never gonna be able to enter shorts on this. Well, let's see if we go back up a third time. Can't really get much worse price action than this with a perfect double top above. It's the worst possible price action I can get for my trading. Yep. There's the inverse head and shoulders happening. Pretty much knew it, but the problem is my average was so terrible on this because it had to be. Um, I couldn't extend my stop loss enough to avoid it. Because what was my average on the last trade? It was like here. Yeah, 1 to 1 would have swept me still. So there's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. I'll wait to re-enter roll, just do nothing. I still can't enter short. So it's longs or nothing for me, unfortunately. So hopefully the market actually goes up or goes down and makes a decision. If it keeps chopping like this, it's going to keep being a terrible day. I'm going to hang out on my phone until something different happens. Well, on the upside, good psychology is reinforced because I was mildly tempted to go heavier on that last trade. And if I would have, we would have big issues. Very big issues. So that is a big plus. Looks pretty good. Yeah, this is still stronger. I could take the earlier entry or the later entry, but let's just keep losing money on longs, shall we? Seems like the method today. To insanity. I still have to get in because we still have bullish liquidity sweep, still have liquidity momentum, and we're actually gonna have demand as well this time. In fact, the first time this time also had demand. Which means this will be nothing but losses if we keep chopping. I'm gonna hang on my phone until I have to enter. Well, I'm technically triggered in. Do I enter here? Do I wait for the 61.8 to break? Kind of feeling the better average, but I don't know. NQC, they're pretty even in strength. NQ invalidated more of the drop because it did drop further. But I'm kind of feeling like they're the same strength right now. I put my order in on ES. Hopefully it fills me. It did fill me. All right. Anyone think this time is going to be the charm? How much would I be? How much could I win if I were in NQ instead? Because NQ's moving more today. Yeah, this is 200 ticks on NQ. That's the same amount of money as ES. What do I lose though? 143. Yeah, about the same. How does this work? And yeah, that last stop loss was a good one too, because I would had to go like way below 1 to 1. Let's just keep doing it. Let's keep having fun. Like 20. All right, so we have other demand. Oh, momentum. Perfect. Top, I'm not going to give it strong. I can honestly still give it bullish sweep. I don't know. It's either 3 to 1 or 4 to 1. If I count the liquidity sweep, it's 4 to 1. But all right, I'll be right back. That's a pretty bearish candle on NQ. If I did enter there, I would have had to enter on the next green candle. But it's looking like another loss. This price action is the worst possible price action. This is awful. Yeah, it looks like NQ's just diving straight down to it. This is already the most, in my entire strategy's history, this is the most losses on one single hypothesis ever. Stonky, we touched this one here. We touched these. Read it open. Afterwards, though, not much. We got this pivot here on ES. And this was a really big one on NQ. That was my PT. Well, and then this one too. Options was fine. Second and third hour, this is absolutely atrocious. NQ barely missed the lower low. That sucks. The reason I put my stop loss so close on this, I mean, it's got a 1.7. It's because if NQ gets down here, it should take out this low, and that's enough to push ES down. I'm gonna hang out on my phone for a while, see what ends up happening with this trade. It was almost good there for a second, but now it's really bearish. NQ looks great to make a lower low, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it perfectly sweeps me. There's the compression. This trend line is probably better. Thinking it breaks to the downside and then comes back up. See, this trend line is also a lot more flat, which increases the odds that that's the one to break. Actually, never mind. It depends on the context. There's the break to the downside on the Nasdaq. Let's see how far it goes. Nice job, TCG. Yeah, yes, well, we'll probably do. I'll ping you guys after this. Probably market close. Actually, I'll ping you guys right now. And figure it out. ES was looking really good there. NQ got a bullish liquidity sweep. ES is looking really strong, but with this new drop, I don't know. ES may want a lower low as well. Great strength and weakness analysis, though, even though it wasn't even very strong when I entered, just ever so slightly. It looks like NQ is going to keep drifting down, though, and that's going to make it possible to make money. Because now, the only trades that I'm going to be able to enter is maybe bearish consolidation down here, right here, or bearish consolidation right here could do that. Yep, gotta love it. You gotta love it. Let's just keep having to get into the same damn trade. Lovely. Any reason for not trading Dow? I have no reason to trade the Dow. Stop loss once again gets a check mark. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to really ever enter shorts because even if we bearishly consolidate here, we're still in demand and going against a liquidity sweep or continuation on pivot. Well, it'll be both continuation on pivot here and bullish liquidity sweep down here. I feel like I'm gonna enter the damn trade again. There's a nice trend line on NQ. And that's what it would be. It's a bullish liquidity sweep on ES. We have bullish liquidity sweep on ES. Am I triggered into a reversal trade there? One more green candle, I may have to get into a reversal trade because I did get a volume spike. Not a huge one, though. I'd rather just kind of wait for liquidity momentum, but then again, the small loss is tempting. ES is definitely stronger, too. I mean, IQ didn't fall as much, but I'll be triggered in on this candle. Because, yeah, the volume's a little bit debatable, but I still have the demand, liquidity sweep, and strong going against the supply. .6. Got a pretty good fill. I just think this is just a losing day, though. This price action's awful. My arch nemesis is chopping down, so that's chopping sideways. I'm getting a little bit of both. I'm getting sideways on ES and uh, chopping down on NQ. Bearish selling wick there. NQ needs to invalidate the selling wick. Right back. Need a cigar after this future session. Unfortunately, today has turned into a psychological masterclass on how to freaking take losses. I did lose a bunch of PAs though, or a group of PAs freaking last night though, because yesterday, you guys know how my first trade was short and the market shot up. You know, once every 2 to 3 months it gets me, but I left that freaking order open and the market dumped overnight. So that also doesn't really help my psych today. So that's pretty difficult to accept. But you gotta do it. You know, the odds of this trade would be higher if NQ swept low of day and it didn't. So NQ still has reason to sit there and chop down. But I don't know. Today ain't it gotta be fast. Sorry, I haven't been watching YouTube chat. So I don't actually know when that was sent. Well, it's looking like it's finally going to happen on this time. That's a lot of momentum. But then again, every other time looked like it was going to happen, maybe except the last time. But every other time looked great, except the very first trade. The very first trade was technically avoidable because I could have waited for another green candle. I kind of wanted to, but I was too trigger happy. Probably because of my rough psychology from last night. But question: why are you not triggering into shorts here? Not enough keywords. My futures trading strategy is mechanical. I need 2 more good reasons than bad reasons to get in. Against that setup, I'm going against, well, on your thing, bullish liquidity sweep and demand. Now, NQ was weak and it had liquidity momentum, but it was also potentially chopping down. That was a 2-to-2 trade. It was 50% odds. You know, the only thing going for that trade was liquidity momentum and weak on NQ. Going against bullish liquidity sweep. And, well, it actually could be continuation on pivot and bullish liquidity sweep, so that one could have actually had negative odds, but that's kind of debatable. NQ is finally at the trend line. Only one of these long trades were avoidable. It's technically the first one, which I'm pretty annoyed about. But as far as keywords are concerned, every single one of these trades were perfectly warranted, unfortunately. I'm going to keep hanging out on my phone until this does something. Still nowhere near my PT. In fact, we're pretty much where I kept having to enter. But, you know, the risk reward for this trade is a whopping 2.79 because I did take the reverse. So this is a little gray area. The reasons I gave this was liquidity sweep, for sure, good. Demand on NQ, for sure, good. Volume with a question mark. I don't know. It kind of got a volume spike, not really. But liquidity momentum for the smaller liquidity momentum from here, it did have it. I didn't really give it perfect double top because it's just too far. And at the point at which I entered, you could start giving NQ bullish chop. I think it started having bullish chop here though, so little gray area with the early entry, but I would have had to enter anyways at a higher average. So knock on wood, but if this trade does win, and I mean, you know what? I could also give this miss pivot. I forgot. I can totally give this miss pivot here. I'll review. All these trades had plenty of reasons, which is why it's so annoying to lose freaking 4 times in a row. But if this trade does play out, that would make up more than half of my losses, I think. One trade would make up 2 red trades. So was this 53? Yeah. It would make up 2 of my losses, but we'll see. Looks pretty good. And you know, today freaking sucks as far as futures goes, but I was truly tempted, especially after what I just told you guys happened last night, which hurt my psych a good amount. That's the first time that's happened in a while. I was tempted right here to enter NQ longs as well. Like, because I was pretty sure I was going to get there. I didn't, and as a result, I reinforced good psychology. Because there's a decent chance the accounts would have blown. Let's see. 47. It would have raised my average too. That would have been my average. 49 times 25. After those losses, 600. I don't know if they would have blown. It wouldn't have been good though. It definitely wouldn't have been good. That's for certain. I think they probably would have. So at least I got that going for me. I was about to too. Yeah, you just can't do it, man. I learned the freaking hard way every time. And if I don't learn the hard way right then, I will always end up blowing my account within a week, maybe 2 weeks of doing that. It's just simply not worth it, you know? And if I'm thinking long term in the scope of this year, how much better is it to have good psychology, document everything, and then just continue improving your strat? It's genuinely just too big of a lose-lose. Especially because even if I win the trade, my drawdown for the account doesn't get any bigger. So I'm not above 2,500 on these new accounts, right? So it's like winning actually doesn't do much for me. At least on Apex at the moment. Oh, my stop loss was actually right here on Trade of 8. I'm going to move it up though. It should really be right here. Let's see if I get a magical super bearish dump out of supply. Honestly, with how many times we tested the supply, I think it's probably going to continue way past my PT. I think NQ is going to get to this pivot here, but we'll see. Maybe I have to enter a reversal trade because if we bearishly sweep this with a volume spike, or NQ's a lot weaker than ES, or one of them's weak, I'll have to enter a reversal trade. So that's a possibility. Rough freaking day. Rough day on futures. It's actually the most loss I've ever had in a row, I think, on my live trading for the last few months. All right, I'm gonna keep hanging on my phone. It's rejecting the supply again. I'd be pretty surprised if it doesn't get PT, but I've been surprised this entire second hour. So I'll hang out and see what happens. NQ could put in an inverse head and shoulders here, though. There's another magical dump out of supply. Let's see if it actually lasts this time. Folks, looks like I'm going to be hornswoggled yet again. Because once again, the magical supply zone that keeps rejecting has somehow rejected yet again. It's one of those days that supply and demand indicator just is too good. Just a little too good to where it's actually hurting me more than it helps. So yeah, I'm thinking it's going to stop out. That is so impressive that we rejected that hard. Like, why the hell did we reject that hard? It's always like you staircased up there and elevated straight down. There's still a chance, but it's pretty damn small. We invalidated a majority of this move. And unfortunately, it looks like ES flipped weaker than NQ, which makes this even more likely to stop out. So I'll keep hanging out my phone. I'll be right back, guys. Well, it still looks like there's a chance. And, I keep saying it's more and more likely to happen, but it truly is more and more likely to happen to where it just screws you over if it never happens. It's one of those rare days. I mean, this trying 5 times on the same hypothesis, I don't know if that's ever happened live in the last 4 months. So it's like, it freaking sucks, but it doesn't really mean anything because it happens so rare. That doesn't mean anything needs to be changed. Only one of these trades was technically avoidable, um, and that'll be reviewed. But yeah, it truly keeps having higher odds. That's a invalidation again, and NQ has an inverse head and shoulders now. So let's see if it'll finally get it, or I continue to get hornswoggled. No way, it just rejected the supply again. This supply is like the biggest force to be reckoned with. I feel like I'm going against Darth Vader himself right now. Like, what the heck is that? Well, I'll continue hanging out on my phone. Was looking decent, but that selling wick and rejection of supply again looks terrible. So not looking the best. I'm gonna just keep hanging out my phone. Does the Great Wall of ES reject price action again, folks? It's a freaking rough session, guys. Look at this price action. Just take a step back and take a gander with what I'm up against or what we are up against. Looks like it's trying to reject supply again. That'd be nuts if it rejected it again. We got 10 more minutes, so this is definitely the last trade. If we fall back towards break even, I'm just gonna hop out and leave my orders up and see what happens. But I'm hoping it can get there beforehand. ES is starting to flip weak. NQ's trying to make a higher high. Got a breakthrough now. You know, tight work, I would agree, but I thought it had to break through here. And then definitely here, and then even more so here, and it didn't. So I'll save my psychology and not say anything has to happen again today because it doesn't. Definitely does not, I guess. But yeah, I'm still fairly confident. Let's see if it happens. It has, in fact, rejected the supply yet again. The game continues, and that looks actually genuinely like a very strong rejection. Not much volume, though. And that is a very strong rejection. I'm starting to think there is a chance of stopping out. Looks like tight work did indeed jinx it. Swaggy called it. What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? Imagine just blindly selling and supply and buying in demand today on ES. Be rich. That's a really big rejection. That's pretty big. That looks like it's actually gonna stop out. The free streaming curse. Might be the curse, TCG. We'll see. If next week's fantastic, we will know that the free streaming curse is indeed still alive when it comes to futures. That's real bearish there. That almost looks like the market's prepping for news to come out or something. It's a very definitive move to the downside. Genku did even sweep the higher high as well. Yeah, it did. Would actually be resistance rather than support, John. But nice, dude. Yeah, it totally works, Landosk. If I could, I would consider doing that, but I am locked into my strategy. Supply and demand are just keywords for me. Hey, well, at least you got your money out of the indicator, so that's a big W. Bullish liquidity sweep there. Tight work. Are you going to say the famous words again, or are you going to abstain this time? Oh, wait, never mind. John already beat you to it. I guess we're fried, guys. John already cursed us and jinxed us. I didn't even get the chance. You beat me to it. Tyreek says it'll break. Okay. Well, maybe if two people say it, it'll be, double negatives, make a positive. So maybe that's the case, but I don't know. It already put in a huge selling wick, so we'll see. I'm actually kind of invested now, so I don't actually want to leave voice. I want to keep watching it. I feel like this trade has become this stupid freaking hypothesis today has become like a part of me physically. Oh, by the way, Discord is IPOing. I don't know exactly when, but they filed for it, so that may be a good one. I'm gonna keep doom scrolling about watching Vegas gambling videos because that's the only thing entertaining enough for me to keep my eyes off the price action. Discord, SpaceX, and OpenAI. Yeah, before GTA 6. That's what it's looking like. And Doril 2 will be a big one. Here comes another rejection. Let's see if it lasts. It's a nice buying wick right off the gate, though. I don't think it'll last, knock on wood. Stonky says, I'm just telling myself it's prepping for a big move. I wouldn't tell yourself anything. I just sit there and wait, or maybe leave and come back later. Yes, with that second supply. Started flipping weak, unfortunately. Let's see if it's going to want to get there. All right, well, NQ's running nice. ES is coming with it. Looks pretty good. Rough day, huh? I just got to stick around to actually remove my stop loss and RP yesterday. By the way, the Aurora Minecraft server should be up tomorrow or Saturday. But that's actually going to be, I'm actually going to put a lot of effort into it because it's would be fun for me. But I'm thinking about building a library in the master trader only section where I actually port like 24 real trading books into that library so you guys can actually use it for actual productivity reasons um, without having to buy the books. Like I would port all of Mark Douglas's books, Brett Steenbarger's books, Tom Hugard books, pretty much every single book and every single lesson that I've ever done. I'd run it through AI to get a script for each lesson and port all of that into the library. But yeah, the um yeah, but it's funny because the Path to Success bot itself is hosted on a Minecraft service, a Minecraft server hoster, like on a platform. So the server is actually going to be hosted through the Path to Success bot. So it's going to be tied to your role in this. community. It's gonna be freaking. Yeah, my TP did hit. So today's still obviously a red day. You know, 4 losses in a row, only one of them was technically avoidable, but as far as keywords were, uh, as far as keywords concerned, not a single trade was outside of the strategy. Freaking sucks though, man. And you know what's funny? Every single stop loss got a check mark because every single stop loss saved me money because I couldn't extend my stop loss further than what I did. But yeah, it's rough. But anyways, the server will be very intertwined with trading, actually. It'll actually be pretty neat. So yeah, it'll be good. But that's plus 660. So what am I down on the day still? Let me see. I'm down 615 on the day still. So I'm down by 2 trades. So that trade made up 2 of my losses. Fairly good psychology though. Reinforce good psych by not giving in to temptation. That would have been bad. We live to fight another day. So you pay for Minecraft because it is essential to my trade. You know what's funny though also is it'll be pretty like I'll actually make the library like a freaking I'm not gonna release too much. It's actually gonna be a great time. All right, I will see you guys later. We finally hit a PT. And yeah, this was the worst futures trading session in I don't know how long, but it's pretty rough. However, today's not as red as yesterday. So, last 2 days have been trash. All right, I will see you guys later. Good luck if you continue to trade. I'll review my trades later today at some point. And yeah, have a blessed rest of your guys' day if I don't talk to you again.